Good morning. Good evening, guys. My name is Reihan from Language in from Miss Defina class, and this is my interview project with my subject. Rai is here today. So, Rai, can you please introduce yourself in this interview?
So, hello everyone. My name is Muhammad Reihan Mid Exam. My friends call me Ray. I study at Binus University in English literature. I'm in semester 5 now. I guess if I could tell a bit about myself, my hobby is watching movies.
Thank you, Rai, for your introduction. So, for today's presentation, I will start right now. So, Rai, what is your native language?
I would say my native language is Indonesian.
Indonesia. So, I would say that you were born and raised in Indonesia, right?
Yes, in Jakarta.
Yes, right. Okay. How would you assess your level of proficiency in your native language in terms of like listening, speaking, reading, and writing?
I think my proficiency in my own mother language, I'm pretty good at it. I'm pretty well, like I could use the language very well because again I've studied it in since kindergarten to high school till now. I'm still learning a lot about my language. Aside from that, I constantly use it in daily life basically, so it is well trained. So basically I think, yeah, I think I quite mastered the language,
So you
even though
master.
there are, yeah, I quite master it, I think.
Okay, okay, nice, nice. Okay, nice to hear it. So, in terms of like Indonesian language, like there's so many news Indonesian word. Like there's a Jaksel language, there's a Jakbar language. What do you think about those opinion?
I guess with the progression of time, it is it has a lot of mixture of many languages. Again, like the Daksha language is a mixture of Indo and English because the influence of the English language is quite significant, right? I think it's quite interesting. I think I quite like it. It's fun words that you that's used as fun phrases to be used in daily conversations. I think to spice up, like from the normalcy of using the English language is quite good. I like it. I quite really like it.
So, like the terms of like Indonesia, like time progresses, they create such as a new word of slang like anjay, asyap. Do you think it is very progressive and like what do you think about the new generation will approach it?
I think they're quite unique. I think they're quite creative when creating new words and phrases. So we're not bored, or it's not the same constant. It's like words keep progressing, phrases keep progressing. There's new words to use. So when in using in a conversation, it's not the same words over and over. So you could use, like, again, words like anjay and asyap. It's quite so making spice up the conversation even more. I think, yes, I do really like it, and they're very creative in
Thank you.
in those lines.
Okay, for next question is like, do you have other language do you speak other than Indonesia?
I would say I speak English because I study it in college, and again because I think in my school it has been a constant obligation for me to learn it because it is a primary subject in schools, right? Because you have to learn it, and it is basically a second language to many countries, including here in Indonesia. For other languages, I think I've dabbled in some, but I only learned phrases like Spanish and Japanese, just a little bit, just 1 to 2 words, but
So,
not that much.
so would you consider yourself as a bilingual or multi?
I wouldn't say I'm a multilingual. I don't speak that many languages. I don't quite master. I mean, to my understanding, multilingual is under apa you master a lot of languages, right?
Yes.
But I would say I'm only a bilingual. I only
So
speak
you're
Indonesian and English.
okay. In terms of speaking English, like how would you assess your level of proficiency in your second languages, like listening, speaking, and reading and
I
writing?
think I do it quite well because my friends, I have a lot of friends from uh, other countries that help me, like in help me improve my language. Aside from that, I also have a lot of friends who speak English, which also help develop my well averse in my knowledge in the English language. I think I'm quite yeah, I think it's on the same level to my understanding of the Indonesian language, but I think I could master it more. I think there are some few couple of things that I could learn more about. Yes, English.
Oh, okay, thank you. And like, what is the language you are most comfortable in talking?
Which which language I'm more comfortable in? I guess when I'm talking to someone new or someone who I just met, I would try to speak to them in Indonesian, because mostly in my social environment I would talk to people who are Indonesian, right? I don't like to use in English. I don't know if they understand English or not. Do they master it? Do they uh, know it as I do? Well, yeah, in the first meeting someone who are, I think I don't consider close, I will probably use English, Indonesian first. But then if I understand, if I know them and I know that they master English, I would try to implement using the English language also.
Okay, so like, and understanding English, like, in Indonesia, Indonesia, we have tons of variety of languages, race, and religious, and so on and so forth. So, do you have any ever has the use of term in English? Like, have you ever used English in like public spaces, or have do you feel comfortable in talking English? Like, if a foreigner came, do you comfortable in talking English with them?
Yes, I think I would feel comfortable, because again, because I have a couple of friends from outside countries, I feel that I could speak to people from other countries, for people who speak English as their mother language. For example, I think uh, an example, just a short example. I've met a foreigner that came to my school when I was in, I guess, middle school, and yeah, I've conversed with him. I direct him to the bathroom. He was asking for the bathroom, and he was asking for my principal's office, and yeah, I helped him converse a little bit, and I think we have a general understanding. He understands me, and I understand him.
So, okay, but what if you talk in English towards Indonesian people? Does that converse in like different attitude towards them, or they will treat you as like the same?
Talking English to fellow Indonesians.
Yes.
Uh, I guess it depends really.
Depends.
If the person I'm talking to understands English, I think it would be normal, because we have a general understanding of the English. But I think for people who don't quite master English, or uh, doesn't master it as I do, I think they will be a bit confused, a bit more confused with the words that I'm using. Because I guess generally, from what I understand, people who I know that doesn't speak English usually gets confused whenever I speak English.
Okay. So you talking like you're a Venus University student, right?
Yes.
In Venus, have you ever experienced in talking to foreigners? Like, have you ever met a foreigner in Venus?
Sadly, I've never had the chance to talk to any foreigners. I've seen them, but I've never gotten the chance to actually have a decent conversation with them. I
Okay.
just kind of I like to point out like, oh, there's a bully right there. I never
Okay.
converse
Okay.
with them.
So you never like converse with another language barrier. Okay. Okay. So in Venus University, right? Venus is known for like many people too. Like there's many culture and many background, different background in Venus, right? So, like, do you, what's the primary language in Venus, like, from your opinion? If there's someone from different country and from different people in Venus, what do you think of the Venus primary language?
I think Venus, from the people I've seen, they primarily use Indonesian, because again, it is the
Yes.
majority speakers in Indonesia is Indonesian, and of course, foreign students. To my understanding, if they choose Indonesia as a country that they want to study at, they probably have some knowledge or understanding in the Indonesian language, don't they? So I think yes, a couple of them will use the Indonesian language too.
So for this is the last question. So thank you very much. Have you ever been like go to different country, different state, and experience like different cultural people or different language people? Have you experienced in that?
Yes, I've been to Hong Kong, and uh, the it is very different. It is very different from Indonesia. Again, I think it has a more higher quality. It's more in the city centric, like everything is cities, and we don't. I don't quite see trees that much in Hong Kong. And from what I see, the people are from all of the people that I've seen in Hong Kong, they're all equally well educated. I think they're all balanced in education. I think they're pretty, yeah, pretty fair. Not like in Indonesia, I guess, whereas it is not that well balanced when it comes to education and, I guess, stability in everywhere else, social wise.
So have you ever speak to like a Hong Kong person and you speak in English?
Yes, I've talked to them in English. I've quite interestingly, almost all the all the people from Hong Kong that I speak to, they speak English. I think, yeah, yeah, I think they all of them are speak English.
Okay,
And
and how do they approach you when you speak English? Does they act like differently, or they want you to learn their language too, or is it okay if you speak English too?
usually they try speaking. They come to me using their language first. They talk in, I think, Chinese, right? Uh, but I said to them, no, I don't speak Chinese, I speak English. And then they instantly change their, like, way they speak. They instantly use the English language to talk to me.
So you will say that Hong Kong is progressive too, right? Because we know that English is like a connective word towards any people that make it a primary language towards them. So you say that speaking English is like a key to towards in talking with other foreigners.
Yes, I do think so. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I guess that's it for my interview. Thank you so much, Rai, for being the subject that for my paper. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in class. Thank you.